Welcome to a Stuart 7A model steam plant, part 34, the completed steam plant in steam in the workshop on a very cold day in January 2021. Before I can steam the plant, I need to do something that I forgot to do with the engine, and that was make it so that the reversing lever could not move on the shaft. Initially, I Loctited it on there, using Loctite 603, but after a while it suddenly gave way. I didn't use very much Loctite 603 in the first place. It was only enough just to hold it in position while I calculated where it needed to be relative to the drop arm that moves the expansion link. The original intention was to drill a hole into the reversing lever, through into the shaft, thread it and fit a grub screw, in a similar manner to the way I fitted a grub screw to the drop arm. And that's what I'm doing at the moment with this 6BA tap. And once I fit a grub screw into this threaded hole, I don't think this reversing arm is going anywhere. Not only does the grub screw fit into the brass part of the reversing lever, it goes all the way through into the steel shaft. When I fit it all back together, this is what it looks like. This engine is always going to run in one direction better than the other. And that's because somewhere along the line the geometry is not right with the expansion link, but it's only a very minor problem. Besides, stationary engines on steam plants like this don't really ever need to go in reverse. The reversing gear option for the 7A steam engine is only useful in a marine application. But it looks great with the reversing gear anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Today in the workshop it is extremely cold. It's around 0 degrees. You can see how cold it is by the way my hand is fumbling with the spanner when I'm trying to undo the safety valve to fill the boiler. I was cold before I actually came into the workshop today because I had to repair the central heating system, and at 8:30 this morning in my garden it was really cold. Not compared to Alaska, I know, but for England it was cold. I've opened the steam valve and I've fitted my special funnel with the adapter to allow me to screw it into safety valve holes. The water in this water bottle is not much above freezing. In fact, at the moment, in the outer part of the workshop, where I have a pot of water for when I'm grinding things and polishing things, that's actually frozen solid. This boiler's quite small, so it doesn't hold a lot of water, and in no time at all, according to the water gauge, the boiler is half full. I'm also adding some water to the reservoir tank. You may be wondering why I'm doing it this way. Why am I suffering for my art and sitting in a freezing cold workshop? I have an air conditioning unit on the wall with a box outside that keeps the workshop warm in winter and cool in summer. And not only is the air conditioning unit not turned on, the door is open. The reason for this is to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. Here I'm filling the gas tank. I would like to take this opportunity to mention some things about these small gas tanks. The first thing I'd like to mention is how useless they are. They are far too small, and as the gas evaporates, they chill, and actually water will freeze on the outside of the can. This happens with larger gas canisters relative to how much of the gas has been evaporated. And the other problem is how to fill the gas canister. Normally I would use the heat differential generated by my holding of the gas canister, which warms it up and causes the gas to flow much better into the small green gas tank on the steam plant, which at the moment is just the same temperature as the gas canister. And while I've been telling you that, I've oiled up the entire plant. It's time to light the gas. And immediately the small piece of ceramic wool that I have in the top of the chimney to stop the boiler from howling blows out of the chimney. So here I am putting it back in. And here I'm showing the difference in the sound when the piece of ceramic wool is fitted. This howling is a really annoying phenomenon. And this idea of putting a bit of heat insulation material into the flue was sent to me by a viewer, and I really do thank you for that. It's very useful. This is a shot of the ceramic burner that fits into the flue, and as you can see, the fire in there looks quite healthy. But this does not last long. As soon as the gas pressure drops, the burner will not provide enough heat to heat the water to make the steam. And almost 1 hour later, there is still nothing in the way of steam available from the boiler. I'm first of all going to reiterate the fact that, in my opinion, small gas tanks and ceramic burners fitted to centriflue boilers is a really bad idea. This type of centriflue boiler was originally designed to use a blowtorch, and a paraffin or petrol powered blowtorch at that, and they don't suffer from chilling because the combustible liquid is vaporized at the burner head. I've used this system on liquid gas, but I can't show any details of this because health and safety prevents me from doing so. I think I'm aware of all the tricks like putting the tank in water and preheating it, but I can't show this. For the third time since I started this test run, I'm refilling the small gas tank. And here I'm relighting the boiler, and hopefully this time I should get some steam. After another half an hour elapsed, suddenly I did have some steam. I opened the valve that I use for feeding compressed air into the boiler, and a bit of steam came out. And in this clip you can clearly see that as the water in the boiler is now boiling, it's bobbing up and down in the water gauge glass. Nothing on the clock though, and tapping it made no difference. This particular Stuart 7A is a very well machined engine, and even though there isn't any pressure showing on the gauge, once I open the drain cocks on the engine and rotate the flywheel, off it goes. And just in case you don't know, the idea of having drain cocks on the top and the bottom of the cylinder at each side of the piston is to drain any condensed steam, which of course is water, and prevent hydraulic lock. Which wouldn't be too bad on an engine this size, but I have personally seen a cylinder cover get completely blown off the cylinder on a 7 1/4 inch gauge Flying Scotsman. And that was just because the drain cocks weren't open when it set off from cold. This is the engine running in reverse, and it makes a bit of a ticking sound. As I said earlier, I think this is due to a mechanical problem. To hazard a guess, I would say that the expansion link is not long enough. I may end up having a bit of a tweak on the eccentric to make it better. Although, just as I mentioned earlier, an engine of this type, as part of a steam plant, only really needs to go in one direction, particularly if it's driving a generator. This engine is currently running on negligible steam pressure. There's nothing showing on the gauge. The amount of heat provided by the small gas tank and the ceramic burner is insufficient to overcome the ambient temperature all around the boiler. And as a rough estimate, by the temperature of my feet and the fact that I can't feel them, I think it's about 0 degrees in here now. And what makes it worse is having the door open, because it's quite breezy outside and the breeze is really cold. In the end I got fed up of the stupid little green gas tank, so I piped it up this way. I piped it directly to the commercial gas canister using a special tap. You can buy these on eBay. The difference was immediate, and there's a lot more heat. There is a minor problem though. The water gauge needs a heat shield because the heat from the burner is boiling the water inside the glass tube. But now at least there is some steam pressure showing on the pressure gauge, and the engine is running a lot faster. The more I look at this number 7A engine, the more I actually like it. It is beautifully made. I think I'll turn down the pressure to the engine and slow it down and allow pressure to build in the boiler. The good news is there's also now sufficient pressure to run the steam pump. The steam gland needs a bit of packing, but as I can't feel my fingers for the cold, I think I'll do that on another day. There's nothing more that I can add to this video in the way of narration. I think I'll just leave the video running to the end. I'd just like to say, stay warm, stay healthy, thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.